Namaste. Good to see you all. So today we are going to do some intention setting. I really don't like resolutions for the new year because as soon as you don't do a resolution, I feel like, oh, that's it, I failed. So you can forget it for the rest of the year. Whereas intentions, you're working towards them. So even if they slip a bit, it's like, okay, I can pick myself up again and do it again. So that's what I want us to do today. It's a new moon, coming into a new moon phase, perfect time to sort of think, what do I want to do new, fresh? What do I want to realign in my life? And we're also looking at breathing. So today I want you to find a comfortable way of sitting and place your hands lightly on your belly. Maybe the fingertips can touch. And if you want to, you can close your eyes and start to become aware of your breath. If it's okay for you, breathing in and out through the nose. Feel the breath coming into the body and have a sense of taking it right down deep into the belly, feeling the belly swell under your fingertips and then relax down on the exhale. And in yoga, we can think about a 3-part breath. So there's 3 sort of stages to getting a full yogic breath. The first stage is this deep breath, getting it down into the tummy. Let that tummy swell on the inhale. Don't draw it in, let it swell. And if you've done this a lot with me before, take your hands onto your back and try and send the breath into the back of the body as well, so your lower back. Feel that bottom part of the body swell at the beginning of the inhale, then relax. Much harder to sense on the back of the body. And then move your hands to the side of your ribs. I want you to take the same nice, deep, slow inhale through the nose. Feel the belly swell, and then see if you've got a sense of your hands lifting out to the sides as your ribs lift to take in the breath and then relax down to empty the lungs. So the rib cage lifts out to make room for the breath and then relaxes down. So stage 1 is the belly swelling. Stage 2 is the ribs lifting out to the side. And then the top part of the breath, the last part of the inhale, take your hands and rest your fingers sort of on the collarbones so that your hands are at the top part of your chest. Take your breath in, let the belly swell, let the ribs lift out to the side, and then that top part of the breath, feel your chest rise. And then let it all relax down. So maybe you can feel those collarbones moving a little at the top of the breath, belly swell, ribs lift out to the side, chest rises. And again, if you've done this lots of times with me before, take your hands onto the back of your shoulders and see if at the top of your breath, that third part, you can have a sense of the whole of the top part of the chest opening up. So we're looking for this 3 parts on one long inhale. Belly swells, ribs lift out to the side, chest rises. Good. And continue with that, but relax the hands down. So you can have them resting on the thighs or the knees. Maybe your legs are forward, maybe you're cross-legged, maybe your hands are in your lap. You find a comfortable way now to sit. Nice long spine, crown of the head rising upwards. Either eyes closed or gentle gaze down at the floor as you take these nice deep belly breaths. Letting the inhale evolve and open up. And before we think about what we might want for the year ahead, the times ahead of us, I want just to be aware that we have to be careful not to wish for things we haven't got whilst forgetting all of the things we have got. So taking a moment now to be grateful for the many things which are good in our lives, for having a home, a place to sleep, to be able to put food on the table, buy clothes to wear, to have people who love and support us, even if we can't see them all of the time. Be grateful for what we do have. And there is no harm in setting an intention now for something you might want to change or something new you might want to bring into your life. So thinking over the next few weeks, months, and the year ahead, see if anything bubbles up for you. And this could be something specific like moving or changing job or taking up a new hobby, or it could be something far more general like being more patient or kinder. It could be making more time for yourself, looking after your health better. So it could be quite broad, it could be specific. Maybe there's several things. I want you to see if you can bring one, maximum two things now to mind, and we can work with that in our practice today. Manifesting it in our yoga practice is going to help us bring it into fruition, bring it into our lives. So take a couple more deep breaths in and out. Bring your hands to your heart. If you want to change the cross of your legs or change the position you're sitting in at this point, you're welcome to. And we're going to inhale the arms up, overhead, touching at the top, and then out to the sides and down to the ground. Good. This time, just the left arm going up, inhaling, and come over to the side. Couple of breaths here, that lovely opening in the side body. Breathe into the left side. Let the head go and be heavy, and then ready to rise up and over to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling, over we go to the left. Good. Letting this happen. Every time we're inhaling, we're breathing in that energy. So rising up to the middle, this time with a twist over to your right, left hand forward, right hand back, lengthening up through the spine and slowly turning the body, looking over that right shoulder, but going gently at the beginning of our practice. One more breath here. And we're going to turn to the front as we breathe in, lift the arms. Good. Keep that length in the body as you turn to the other side. And then see if you can ground down through the sit bones, grow up through the spine and turn a little more. Going gently. Looking over that left shoulder as best our body allows us to do. And inhale to the front. Lift the arms. Good. And bring them down to the ground. Take the legs out in front of you, as wide as is comfortable, toes pointing up to the ceiling. We're going to take some little twists and turns here. So again, working with what's right in your body, always adapt the practice for what's okay for you. These could be deep twists or little twists. If possible, we're looking to stretch the legs out. If that is just not happening for you today, a little bend in the knees is fine. Inhale, take the arms out to the side. On the exhale, we're turning and reaching our left hand towards those right toes, stretching the right hand back behind us. Inhale to center, turning, reaching towards the left toes. Doesn't matter how near or far you are from touching them. And again. Good. Allowing the body to feel into these twists and turns, getting used to it. And then the next time you reach for your right foot, I'd like you to stay there and breathe into the twist. So it doesn't matter if the fingers come to the toes, the ankle, or down onto the shins. And see how it feels to stretch out that right hand behind you, stretching out through the fingers into the air, or bring the fingertips down to the ground. And breathe in, see if you can lengthen up through the spine a little more on the inhale. And settle a little on the exhale. One more breath on this side. And we're going to come up through the center again, lift the arms out. Good, and then reach towards the left toes. And again, find a place you can settle and stay for a few breaths. So best to bring those front fingertips down somewhere onto the toes or the leg and see how it feels in that back shoulder. Reaching out is strong if you're reaching the fingers out into space behind you. Maybe it's better to bring them down to the floor. Work with what feels good in your body. One more deep breath here. Inhaling up to the center. And exhale, bring the hands behind you. And you can stay up on your fingertips to find length in the spine, or you can walk the hands back so that you come onto your palms. And I want you to lift the heart, lift the chest on an inhale, lengthen through the neck, and look up to the ceiling. If it feels okay, you can let the head drop back on an exhale. Otherwise, you're welcome to keep it a little more lifted. So lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Good. And then use an inhale to lift yourself back up. Lovely. Swing the legs round and come forward to tabletop pose on hands and knees, moving anything out of the way that you want to. And starting from this nice square tabletop position with hands under shoulders and knees under hips, we're then going to reach the hands forward. Start walking the hands forward in front of you to come into puppy dog pose. So the hips stay up in the air and the head comes down towards the mat, doesn't have to touch it. And we're looking for space in the back body. So reaching the crown of the head in the opposite direction to the sit bones. Okay, the bottom of the hip pointing up into the air, bum in the air, and feel a nice length in the back of the body, softening the heart down to the ground. Walking the hands now back underneath the shoulders. And if downward facing dog is not right for you, then you walk back into puppy dog here, and you can stretch out the legs one at a time behind you from kneeling. Otherwise, spread the fingers. Have the hands just a little bit in front of the shoulders. Really push down into those fingertips and tuck the toes. Inhale, exhale, lift the hips. Keep the knees bent. So you're coming into downward facing dog with bent knees, and I want you to find that same length that you had in puppy dog before you even think about straightening the legs. Okay, so nice long back is our priority in downward facing dog. And then let's pedal the feet. So pushing one heel into the ground and then the other. Let the back of the legs get used to the idea of being stretched out. Strong muscles in the back of the legs, and they tighten up. And let's ease into those hamstrings. And then you can bend both knees at the same time and slowly lift the hips up and the heels down. So we're going towards straight legs, and we're easing the heels towards the floor. Okay, they might get there, they might not. And then drop to the knees. So everyone coming to kneeling, lift the head, lift the tailbone for cow pose. See how this feels? Okay, again, thinking length, so not crunching the neck back. Can you think long neck? Breathe in here. Breathe out and slowly flex into a cat stretch and push yourself all the way back to child. Hips come back towards the heels and you relax down. On an inhale, rising up to tabletop. Your choice now to walk the hands forwards for puppy dog or tuck the toes and lift the hips for downward facing dog. Breathing out and then coming back to kneeling. Lift the heart, lift the hips for cow. Go through that twice more. So if you want to go slower or faster than I'm going, coming into child pose, you move with your breath. Rising up to tabletop, either tucking the toes or you walk the hands forward. Puppy dog or down dog, your choice. And then everyone comes together again and kneeling for cow pose. Back to child. So you keep going now one more time until we meet once more in child pose. Letting the movement follow the pace of the breath rather than the other way around. And when you get into child pose, and there's no rush, allow yourself to soften down. So maybe the hands come under the forehead, maybe the head rests on the mat, and you might even like to bring the hands back to the feet. But we're thinking of the inhale today. So I want the inhales to be energizing. Think about spreading space across the back. If you've got the hands forward, reaching through the fingertips on the inhale. And that might let you soften even more on the exhale. You have a sense of that softening. If you energize the inhale and then release on the exhale. Lovely. Right, come back up to kneeling. And if your wrists are aching or you don't like taking the weight on your wrists, next bit can be done on your forearms. Move the knees a little closer together. We're going to come onto one knee and it helps with balance if you're got them more in the middle. And we're going to take just the right foot back behind us. So lifting the leg behind us, find length from the crown of the head right through to the back heel. At least this first position, I want the back leg to be straight and long. We're going to inhale there and then exhale, bring the knee forward, look towards the knee, nose comes towards the knee and you round the back. Then inhale, take the leg back. And if you want, you can lift the foot, bending the knee, so it's a little bit more of a back bend. Otherwise, you keep the leg straight. Exhale, bring the knee forward. So we're rounding the back. And then maybe arching the back, otherwise straightening it out. One more time like that. And then as you inhale this time, think about bringing the knee all the way forward. On the exhale, this time the knee is coming forward with the foot. Foot comes forward between the hands. So you end up in a low lunge. Good stuff. And we're going to rise up from here into our crescent lunge. If you're feeling energetic and you really want to pick up the energy, you can tuck your toes and lift the knee and do this from a higher position. Otherwise, keep that back knee down. And you might know Anjani Asana, our crescent lunge, and want to lift up in one breath with the arms. Otherwise, bring the hands to the thigh, the hips, and they can stay there. Or on the next breath, you lift the arms into the sky. If that doesn't feel right, you bring them back to the hips. Lengthen down through that tailbone. Zip up the tummy. Lift the heart. And the gaze can be straight ahead or it can be up at the sky. If it feels good, dip the hips forward as you exhale and come more into that crescent shape. Reaching up to the sky, bring in your intention for this year ahead. Welcome it in. So you're reaching up to grab hold of it, draw it down into your body. Good, nice big inhale there. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Walk them round to the side of your mat. Turn your knee and foot as we go. So now you've got your right foot reaching towards the front of your mat. I want you to bring yourself over your left knee, so the hip is over the left knee. And we come into this gate pose, it's called. So like a 5-bar gate with the bar across it. And your toes are turning towards the wide, long edge of the mat. So they're nice and stable. Good. Then inhale, lift the arms up. And we're going over towards the outstretched legs. So exhale over. Reaching through the top hand, the left hand. If the arm can be over the ear, that's great. And then sliding that bottom hand down the leg with every breath. If you want to rise up a little on the inhale, great. Exhaling over. One more breath here. We're going to flip ourselves all the way around to the other side. So slowly rising up and over. Find the floor with the left hand. If the floor isn't there to find, grab some blocks. Make the floor higher. Good. And now we're reaching on this diagonal. So push the outside edge of that foot into the floor and reach through the fingertips. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands come down and the knees come together and turn towards the front of your mat again. So let's come back to tabletop pose. Again, you can be on forearms if you prefer, and we'll do that the other side. So left leg reaches out behind you, hip height, with the toes pointing down at the floor, so the foot is flexed and you're really pushing out through the heel and trying to take the crown of the head forward. So you've got lovely length in the body. Inhale there, and then exhale. Draw everything into the center. Look towards your knee and feel the back round. Inhale, take the foot back. If you want to lift it, fine. You don't have to. Exhale, bring everything into the middle. Twice more like that. You move at your own pace. How long do you want to linger at the top of the inhale? How much do you want to squeeze out on the exhale? Good. Get ready, because the next one is where you're going to swing the knee forward and the foot comes all the way through between the hands. And the more that you walk the foot out to the side, the more stable you're going to be to rise up. So your choice if you stay here in low lunge. If you want to challenge yourself with your balance and your energy, you can lift that knee off of the floor. Inhale. You can come up in stages. You can lift the hands straight into the air. Maybe they stay on your hips. And you breathe here. Establish yourself in the pose, okay? You can always change your mind. Come down to dropping onto that back knee. And if it feels good, let the hips drop forward. Okay? If that feels like now you're compressing the spine, draw yourself back up. Okay? That tailbone needs to stay long. And think of those tight jeans. You've got to zip up and button up the front. Keep that core engaged. Reach up through the fingertips. Okay, what you want, what you would like to change, to do, to become within your reach. You're reaching up and welcoming it into your life. If your hands are on your hips, your heart is welcoming it. Nice big inhale here to finish. Exhale, hands come down. And walk yourself around to the side of your mat, turning on the knee. If you want to pad up that knee anytime, you know you can. Just grab a blanket or something to put underneath it. And then stretching out that left foot towards the front of the mat. See how best you can place the foot flat on the floor. Not always easy. Inhale, lift the arms. Keep that length in the body that you gained from that, and then exhale, over we go into our gate pose. 3 big breaths here. Every exhale, can you reach a little further? Let the inhale re-energize that space in the body. Softness, on the exhale. One more time. Good. And then inhale, exhale as we go up and over. Slowly. So that sense of where is the floor? There it is. And then we establish ourselves, grounding down, okay, through the parts of the body that reach for the floor, that are touching the floor, and then reaching up with that top fingers. If it's uncomfortable on the shoulder, then you know you've got options to bring the hand to the hip or down by the side. See what's right for you. Good. And then inhaling, coming up, knees come together, come back to kneeling. If you want a couple of breaths in child pose, you're welcome to take them. Establish yourself here on the mat. And then we're going to come into down dog for those who want to transition to a forward fold. So if you want to make your own way there, that's fine. Otherwise, tuck the toes, lift the hips into our downward facing dog. Have a nice stretch out in this posture. And then today we're going to walk the hands towards the feet. So coming towards the back of your mat. Into your forward fold with the knees bent. Let the head hang loose. Unless you've got high blood pressure and you prefer to keep the head in line with the heart, in which case you keep your hands on your thighs and you're in this more half forward fold position. But if you're down in forward fold, then a little shake and nod of the head really releases the neck and lets the body relax down into gravity. So we're going to spend some time coming in and out of our half forward fold into a full forward fold. So again, you can go gently. If that's not for you, then you work all the time staying in this half forward fold. I want you to take your hands onto your shins. If you're down in forward fold, hands onto your shins, bend the knees a little bit and lengthen through the back like we do in downward dog. So you should be able to find a longer spine with the knees bent. And then as we exhale, we start straightening the legs. So if you want to stay in half forward fold, that's fine. Otherwise, you're letting the head and the hands come down again. So the inhale brings you up, half forward fold. Find length in the spine. The exhale, hips go up, head and hands come down. Couple more times. If you bend the knees a little more on the inhale, bring the belly towards the thighs and then try and keep the belly towards the thighs as you lift the sit bones up. Then you discover your hamstrings at the back of your legs. Good. Right, prepare to come up. Going to do it in 2 stages. So on your inhale, bring yourself into a half forward fold and bring the hands to your hips. So now your heart is parallel to the floor. You're reaching out through the crown of your head. You're pressing down through your feet. Take a nice big inhale there. Exhale, bend the knees. Press down into the floor. As you inhale, think of the crown of the head reaching out and up as you rise up now to standing. Bring the arms up above the head. And breathe out as you bring the hands down in front of the heart space. And release them. Good. So come into mountain pose. Palms face forward. Heart is lifted. Feet are nice and grounded. You really press down into the floor. That little bit of pressure drawing the feet apart to really engage the leg muscles. Draw you up tall. And then relax that pressure so that you've got engagement without tension in the body. Nice and tall through the spine, like there's a thread drawing the head upwards. Roll the shoulders back to lift the heart and use those inhales to feel the body opening. Exhale softens off a little. Good. So today for our balance, we're going to come in and out of tiptoe pose. Bring the hands to the heart. And on the inhale, we're going to sweep the hands up above as we lift our heels off of the floor. As we exhale, we bring the hands back down to our sides. Good. We start from the heart. Let's come all the way back round to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms out, lifting up onto tiptoes. Exhale, trying to slowly lower down if you can, controlling the heels coming back down. Good. This time we're going to stay there. So inhale, rising up onto tiptoes. Keep the hands above the head unless that's not good for you. You can bring them down to your hips, and we're staying up on our tiptoes, keeping the breath going. On that inhale, can we become a little taller? On the exhale, softening shoulders, unclenching the jaw. Seeing if we can stay in this posture. Well done. Challenging. One more breath. On the exhale, see how slowly you can lower down. Really nice. Good. Great. And then we're going to take the feet a little wider. And we're going to do a 3-part breath, but with movement. And whereas right at the beginning, there was one smooth inhale where we thought belly, ribs, top of the chest, this time I want you to break the inhale into 3 sections. So it's like 3 sniffs in and then an exhale out with movement. Let's see if I can show you so that it makes a little more sense. So hands down by the side to start with. And I want you to first of all think of the belly swelling as we lift the hands in front of us with an inhale. But then take another inhale and lift the hands out to the side. And then a third inhale and lift the hands forward and up. And then you exhale, bend the knees and let the hands come forward. Inhale, hands come forward in front of you. Inhale again, hands come out to the side. Inhale, hands lift up. And then exhale down. A little faster now. Sigh out the exhale if you want. Find your rhythm. Couple more times. Inhale, 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 exhale. One more time through for luck. After your next exhale, slowly bring yourself upright and pause. Bring the feet back under your hips. Come back into mountain pose. And see how that feels. Generating prana, whizzing life force around the body. Gets things moving. We want to feel uplifted today. The inhale lifts us up. The exhale calms us down. So we're working on that inhale a little more than the exhale, but we need that balance. So bringing it back into balance. And hopefully you're still roughly at the back of your mat. If not, take a couple of steps backwards. For our warriors today, we're going to take warrior 1. Taking it from the back of the mat like this, we're going to be stepping forward. And I want you to feel that sort of stepping forward into your future. So first of all, turn your left toes out at a little bit of an angle. If you're not at the back of your mat, come to the back of your mat. So a little bit of an angle with your left toes, sort of 30, 45 degrees. Feet hip width apart, hips face the front and they stay facing the front. Big step forward now with your right foot. Okay, and then keep pressing down into that back foot, so the back foot stays on the floor. Lift the hands. They can be to the hips if you don't want to lift them into the air. As you breathe out, bend the front knee. And this is warrior one. Okay, so there is a slight back bend. See how that lumbar area feels, the base of your spine. Can you push down into the outside edge of the back foot? Lengthen the tailbone down to the floor. Does that ease it a little bit? The pelvis just tilts a little bit. That should make it more comfortable. Feel strong here. So if you want to look up, you can. With every exhale, can you dip into the hips a bit more? Maybe you widen your stance. Okay, warrior one is a strong, growing position. Okay, it represents growth coming up and out and at them. So breathe into this feeling, lifting the heart. And we're going to transition from warrior one to warrior two. So little lift on the inhale, hips lift up a little bit. And then on the exhale, your right hand reaches forward, your left hand reaches back, and the hips turn to the side of the mat more. And you feel into your warrior two. Again, you might want to adjust the stance of your feet. Okay, feel stable, feel strong, drop the hips down. And we're going to transition back and forth. So we're going to look to the back of our mat now. On an inhale, cross the wrists in front of the hips. Big circle with the arms. And exhale so that now you're looking back along your left arm. The toes have turned to the back of your mat. Drop those shoulders away from the ears. So as we look back, we feel grateful for what's gone before, for where we are now, and then we're going to look forward again. So inhale, wrists cross in front of the hips. Big circle with the arms, wrists cross at the top, toes are turning. Exhale, come into your warrior two, facing the front. Look down the middle finger of that front arm. The arms and shoulders are aching. You can take the hands to the hips. Looking ahead, reaching into the future. It's yours for the taking. Nice big breath there. Inhale, and then on the exhale, spin the hands around. Frame the front foot. Let the back toes turn as you go. Little side twist here. You can drop down onto the back knee, or you can keep it lifted. We're going to press the left hand down into the ground. The right hand comes onto the right hip, and we turn to the side, lifting the top arm up if you want to. Press down into the ground with that front foot and front hand. Lift up into the sky, either with your fingers or with an elbow is absolutely fine if the hand is on the hip. Nice big breath into the twist. And exhale, come down to the floor. Okay, this time we're going to step the front foot back into downward facing dog and walk the hands back towards the feet, coming to the back of your mat. You're back in your forward fold. Enjoy a little dangle there. Relax the knees. Catch your breath. And then we're going to rise up as we did before. So hands coming onto the hips. Press down, the feet press down into the floor. Little bend really helps strengthen the legs. And then we lift out. We lift the heart and we lift the head out and up. And the hands can sweep up if that feels good for you. And then come down to the heart. Come into mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back. Reconnect with the earth and reach up through the body to the sky. Do that little squeeze of the legs outwards. So feet pressing down into the mat. A little bit of engagement and then soften. Really feel rooted down before we take all of that on the other side. This time it's going to be the right toes. Turn out at an angle, and the left foot takes a big stride forward. Make sure the hips face the front for warrior one. okay? If they feel like they're skewed, if you put your hands on your hips and the elbows, one points forward, one points back, and you want to lift the back foot, spin the hips round, and then press down into that back heel. Okay, when you're ready, inhale. Lift the arms. Exhale, bend the front knee. And find your warrior one pose. So maybe it feels stronger for you to have the hands on the hips so that you can lift the heart more. Maybe looking up feels really uplifting to you. Maybe that strains the neck, so you look forward instead. Reaching up through the fingertips, out through the crown of the head. Thinking of rising up to opportunities, grasping hold of them. Lovely. And then we're going to turn this into warrior two. So a little lift up on the inhale. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. Allow those hips now to be turned to the side more. If you need to adjust the position of the feet, then do so. Warrior two is all about strength and focus. So we're looking down that front arm, but we're trying to stay calm and relaxed. Okay, let's do that little bit of reflection, looking back. See if you can do it in one smooth movement as we inhale, wrists crossed, big circle of the arms, toes are turning. As we exhale, back knee bends, and we're looking down now along the right arm, looking backwards, thanking what's happened in the past, teaching us lessons we learned from it. It comes with us. We're going to take whatever has been in the past forward now. Saying thank you. We'll leave you where you are. And then inhale, exhale, turn yourself back around into warrior two, facing forwards. Lovely. And feel powerful. Okay, the hips are over the center of the legs. The heart is over the hips and the head is over the heart. So your torso is upright and you are balanced between the past and the future. Breathe into that, reaching out for what's ahead of you. Nice big breath, and then spin the hands down to the floor. Back toes turn, and your choice whether to stay with the knee up or drop that back knee down. Ready for a twist here. Right hand stays on the floor or a block. Okay, you can bring the floor up higher. Left hand this time comes to the left hip. Think length in the spine, and then we turn, turning towards the bent knee. If it feels right for you, you lift that top hand up. If that doesn't feel great, then you bring the hand back to the hip. The idea here is rotating the body. So this could be a big turn, it could be a little turn. Breathing in and out. Keep that breath flowing smoothly. Nice big reach up to the sky if your fingertips are stretching up. And then exhale, coming back down to the floor. And this time you can step back into down dog or you can come straight to kneeling, your choice. Take a couple of breaths there. We're going to ease ourselves down onto the floor and sink back to child pose. Hips come back. Relax the head down. Feel grounded. Feel like you've energized the body and the mind for what lies ahead. Soak it in. And your choice, you can stay here for the next few breaths, or if you want to keep moving, if you want a feeling of propelling yourself forward, then we can take cobra pose. So maybe reaching through the fingertips, pressing the palms into the mat. You rise up on an inhale, dropping the hips forward and coming back into cobra. Don't worry if that's not what your body says it needs. If you think, no, I want to go back into child pose, then slowly take yourself back into child pose. Take the opportunity here, if you're in cobra, to lift the heart forward. So real front body opening pose. Keep a check for how the back is feeling. Okay, it's great if it's feeling work, but if it's at pain rather than work, then we come out of it. We change the posture. Last big inhale here, rising into your cobra before we slowly ease ourselves back. Really feeling the work, I think, when you come out of the pose like this. Taking it back through a rounded back, all the way into child pose. Softening down. And this is how we should treat any challenge or goal that we've set ourselves, any wish or intention. Yes, we do our best, we do the work, but it doesn't hurt to withdraw, check in, how are we doing? Okay, sometimes we don't get there in one go, sometimes we'll never get there, but we keep trying, but being kind to ourselves at the same time. Lovely. So gently pressing yourself back up to a tabletop pose. And we're going to thread the needle. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders. We're going to take 3 breaths to get into it each side today. If the wrists don't like this bit, then you can start on forearms because that's where we're going to end up. And it will be the left arm that we're going to lift up first of all. So press into your right hand, lift the left arm out to the side, look up towards the fingertips if the neck is good. Exhale, thread the arm under, but don't bring the cheek down to the floor. So we're just hovering the arm and the head above the floor. Inhale, reach out to the side again. Exhale, do the same. So we're coming into a twist. We're tucking that left hand under the right arm, but we're not resting anything on the floor until this time. So have a nice stretch out on the inhale. And this time, let those left fingers reach under the right arm. Let the back of the left hand find the mat, slide down the mat as you ease your left cheek down to the floor. The right hand and forearm rest down onto the floor, and you find yourself in a twist with the hips in the air, the head downwards, and those left fingers can reach as far through as is comfortable for you. If that's too much of a twist, then draw them back a little bit. Breathe into any tension that you feel in the body. See if you can soften it off a little. Let the support of the mat take the weight of the body so that you can twist without having to hold the body in a set posture. Let the weight of your body sink the hands, the arms down into the mat. And then preparing to come out, I really want you to think about unraveling into the future here. So bring your right palm and place it a little closer to your face. Press into the right palm as you breathe in. Unravel yourself. Nice big stretch out with the left arm, looking up towards the fingers, if that's okay, on your neck. And then exhale. Hands come down to the floor and center yourself up, ready to do that on the other side. So hands shoulder width apart, or you're down on your forearms. And now the right arm reaches out to the side. Nice big stretch. Exhale, tuck it under, don't come down all the way yet. Preparing the body for the twist. Inhale out again, open across the heart. Exhale into the twist, getting the body ready. Last time now, open out. Nice big breath in, and then on the exhale, you're threading the right hand under the left arm and finding the floor with the cheek, letting the hands find the right position for them. So coming onto that right shoulder, Right cheek is down on the ground. The left arm can fidget and adjust until it feels nice and stable. The forearm resting on the floor, the elbow bent. And that left back of the hand is resting on the mat. So your left palm is up, your right palm is up, your left palm faces down onto the floor. Feel grounded, as if you're reaching into the future with ease. Okay, so it's not a desperate grabbing or stretching. Facing the future, challenges, opportunities, with acceptance. Big breaths here. And then again, maybe that left palm comes a little closer to you, ready to push into the floor. As you inhale, you rise up, stretch out again one last time through that right arm, and come back down to all fours. Sit yourself back onto your heels, swing the legs forward and round. And this is the opportunity to grab any props that you want for the next couple of postures. So for relaxation, fluffy socks, layers, blankets, pillows, whatever you want, have that near you. We're going to take bridge pose and then an inversion, either legs up against the wall, half shoulder stand, or you can stay in supported bridge pose. So if you want blocks, bolsters, something to lift your hips and stay in supported bridge, then have that ready. And then once you've got everything near you that you want, lower yourself down onto your back. Knees are bent. And feet are hip width apart, but flat on the floor. Quite close to your hips, but flat on the floor. And where I'd normally say palms flat on the floor, ready for bridge pose, today I want to be a little bit more energizing. So I'm going to say upper arms are on the floor and fingers are pointing up to the sky. So bent elbows, palms face towards each other. This also helps to keep the chest nice and open. Press down into the feet. As you breathe in, you lift the hips up and you roll up the spine, lifting the hips up to the sky. As you exhale, you roll the spine back down onto the floor, hips trying to come down last. Okay, 3 more times. So inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, rolling down. You either keep working dynamically, or for this time you could stay up for the breath. So that would be pushing, lifting the hips up, and then staying there for the exhale, maybe a little dip of the hips, but not rolling back down. An extra big lift for the last breath. And then everyone rolling slowly, slowly back down to the floor, seeing if you can take one vertebra at a time down to the floor, and then feel that lovely release as the hips come down and relax the hands. So your decision now, you can grab a block or a support and place it under the sacrum, not on the tailbone, not on the spine, but on the bony bit at the back of the hip, and you can stay in this lovely relaxed inversion. You can wriggle over to the wall or a chair, put your legs up, resting them on something, or if you want to, you can follow me into a half shoulder stand. I like to sit up a little bit, kind of use my forearms. As I roll back, I push up and catch my hips with my hands. Knees stay bent until I've got myself balanced and settled. So I might walk the elbows in a bit, adjust where my hands sit, and then I can straighten my legs if I want to, but not up into the air. Okay, I'm at an angle. So the body is reasonably relaxed. I've got plenty of my back still on the floor. I'm not right up on my shoulders. So wherever you are, you've got some sort of inversion now. The heart is lifted slightly over the head. And we're definitely all benefiting from gravity, draining everything down a little more into the upper body. So the blood flow is eased, coming into the brain, around the heart, the throat. These parts it has to work really hard normally to get to, getting this extra little bit of oxygenated blood supply. You can close your eyes here if you want to. It's that feeling again of upliftment that I'm looking for. So use the inhales to think fresh start, fresh breath, fresh opportunity. The exhales, let it go, and they make space. The exhales make space for the inhales. We breathe out the old. We breathe in the new. If you're in supported bridge, you can press down into your feet now and lift the hips up. Slide whatever support you were using, slide it away from under your hips and slowly lower those hips down onto the ground. Feel really earthed and grounded. If you're in half shoulder stand or you've had your legs up against the wall, you need to slowly bend the knees and draw them down towards you. Use your arms as brakes to control how you come out of the posture. Okay, bringing the hips onto the floor and the legs down. Everybody making their way into a lying posture now on their mat, ready for relaxation. So any extra layers come into play. Make yourself cozy and stretch the legs out. Have the legs straight with the toes dropping out to the side, and take a moment there to see how that feels in your body. If that doesn't feel great, if the back is really strongly talking to you and saying, no, I feel like I've got a big arch or I'm uncomfortable, try bending the knees and resting the knees together, like in a pyramid with the feet wider apart. And this constructive rest pose, deeply soothing to the nervous system. So you choose what's right for you. See how it feels to turn the palms up towards the sky. This is an opening and welcoming position. So we want to invite energy and opportunity into our lives. Have a last wriggle the shoulders and hips and settle yourself into relaxation. Allow the eyes to close if that's okay for you. And let yourself melt down into the mat now. See if you can release any tension in your body. Unclenching the jaw, letting the limbs soften even more. And once again, come closer to connecting with your breath. And I want you to feel gratitude for the practice, for what has gone before, what we've absorbed and worked through in the practice. Feel grateful for what you have in your life. Cultivating this sense of gratitude for where we are, the good things about where we are. And then allowing yourself to think about where you would like to be, what you would like to achieve in the coming days, weeks, months. How you want to feel this year. What you would like to manifest in your life. What would you like to bring into it? And see if you can boil that down to an inspiring word or phrase. Whether that is self-care, new job, calm mind, whatever it is, peace, happiness, whatever phrase or word feels like, yes, that sums it up. That's what I would like to work towards. And breathe that word in. With every inhale, feel like you're bringing that word into the body. You're becoming that word. And this is our intention for the year ahead. Remember, especially with our yoga practice, every breath is a new moment, a new start. So we can press this reset button anytime we choose. Breathe into your heart. Philosopher Lao Tzu says, at the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. So trust in that. Feel like it's going to the very core of you. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. And let yourself melt down into the mat now for these last few breaths. The exhales take us down into peace. The inhales energize us. And slowly, slowly use the focus of those inhales to breathe life back into the physical body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Having a stretch out if you want to. Maybe lift the arms over the head. Bring the knees into the chest, whatever feels right for you. A little rock and roll, a little massage. Rolling onto your right hand side and resting there. Our right hand side represents the sun, the positive, dynamic energy. So we're stimulating that side of our body by coming onto our right hand side, waking up this side, the more dynamic, stronger, forward going energy. Use your hands now to slowly press yourself up to a seated position, comfortable seated position for you. And bring your hands to your heart. Remembering to be grateful for what we have, whilst having an intention for what we would like to manifest. Let's breathe in as we take our hands out to the side and up. Breathe out and bring it down into our heart. One more time, reaching out and up on the inhale. Let the universe give you what you need, what you choose. Bring it down into your heart space. And you can join me in an Om Shanti 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 if you wish. Nice breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, take a bow to your practice, to everything you have, to everything that's ahead of you. Namaste.